Hello and welcome to a new game on Garbag Games. This is a game of Blade Runner called Dances with Replicants, which hopefully will become apparent why it's called that this session, but that's the name I've come up with. I am Andy. I am I'm the referee, but in Blade Runner that's called a game runner for the desire by Free League to have fancy names for all their GMs, but I'm the game runner. Let me introduce to my players. I shall start with Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave. I am playing Detective Reid Wildner, who is a human city speaker.
Okay, thank you. Then Richard.
Hi, I'm Richard. I'm playing Detective Maximillian Falk, who is a human skimmer.
Thank you. And then Rick.
Hi, my name's Rick. I'm playing a detective, Inspector Corwin Barimen, who's human.
Okay.
And a rookie.
Okay. And then lastly, Javier.
Hi, I'm Javier, and I'm playing Detective Miles Dallas, a replicant analyst.
Okay, right. Thanks for that, guys. Right, okay. So it is 2037. Very specifically, it is the evening of 17th of October 2037. It's a Saturday evening. It's about sort of 10 past, quarter past 9 at night, and all of you are on duty in various places in the city of LA when you get your Kia, your little sort of comms unit, bleeps to life with a call. And what it actually is you recognize very quickly, it's a sort of group call with several people being patched in together. Okay, and as you log on, you and answer the call, you realize that the call is from your immediate superior, or one of your immediate superiors, Lieutenant Kirsten Sawyer. And once you're all online, and audio quality is a bit crackly, it's not the best of tech, but it'll do. And she says, gentlemen, I don't know what you're up to at the present moment, but I need you to investigate a case. Something has come up, and it's serious enough for I need the four of you to go and figure out what's going on. If it turns out to be minor, then we'll cycle some of you off the case later. But to start with, I want the four of you to make your way to the fashion district and go to the Calibri Tower in the fashion district, and a little ping appears on your handset with a map of where that is. At the base of it, there's an LAPD tactical team in on site at the present moment. There's been some fairly large-scale firefight, including automatic weapons, and they have taken control of the area, and they're reporting three dead on scene, one of whom appears to be a replicant, and they suspect the other two are as well. And they have requested Blade Runner backup. So can the four of you please get over there as quickly as possible, and then keep me updated as to what's going on. What is... I know very few details at the present moment, so I need some reports as soon as possible as to what is going on. Okay?
Understood.
And she then
Roger.
clicks and ends the call. Okay. So you're all probably in different parts of the city on various patrolling in your skimmers. The Calibri Tower. Now, this is where. I'm assuming you will start making your way there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Now.
Carefully, I don't want to wreck the skimmer.
Okay, well, it does not require driving tests. Right. Could you please? Right. Actually, what are your connections skill levels?
D12.
And D.
I'm only a D8.
D8. Sorry.
D6.
D6, and then
6.
D6. Okay. So, Maximillian, only you know this at the present moment. At the base of the Calibri Tower is an old disused mall. This part of the fashion district is very much, there are businesses in the, sort of very plush businesses in the top parts of towers, and the bottoms of towers are very often sealed up to prevent access. And but there are a lot of street businesses and so on in the area. Okay. You would also know, I think, certainly you, that in fact, actually, probably this is probably something that Reid, you know as well, that the fashion district, there's a lot of very high-end, very luxurious sort of entertainment facilities on the tops and partway up towers. But at the base, there's still quite a lot of activity at the base, and there is a trend in some people, some very fashionable people, to go what they call dark siding, which is to go down to the base level where it's a bit more real, it's a bit more risky, the thrills are bigger. Okay, to go down to that sort of level and experience a sort of something a bit more exciting than normal, if you see what I mean. Okay. Right. You head out, and for want of some sort of arbitrary decision, you can all arrive at roughly the same time. Okay. Okay. So, actually, let me give you a bit more scene setting. Okay, so the fashion district at street level is very different to the lofty heights at the top of the skyscrapers. Many of the buildings aren't as tall as in the commercial district. Many of them are mere 50 to 100 stories high, rather than the 100 and greater that is found in several other parts of the city. That is high enough to create a disparity, though. The tops are full of exclusive restaurants and nightclubs, latest trendy places where the cultural movers and shakers like to be seen to hang out. It is beautifully designed and comfortable. Street level is a total contrast. Everywhere is crowded with a mix of the less fortunate society and those people that like the thrill of going dark siding. A massive jumble of people either trying to earn enough for their next meal, or people looking for more exciting and thrilling experience than the perfect world above. By the time you arrive, it's just after 9:30 in the evening, and the humidity of the day has been broken by a recent downpour. It's still drizzling a little, and the rain has a quite low pH value for once. Quite a low pH value. So everyone is wearing the most weather-resistant clothing. There is a bit of acid rain going on. Street hawkers are still selling their wares from stalls, and everything is bathed in the glow from various neon signs and giant adverts, even at this level. It's a confusing mix of humanity, some rushing around on one errand or another, while some stand and watch the security cordon that has been thrown up around an old abandoned mall at the foot of the tower block. A heavily armed LAPD tactical team supports the regular uniformed officers as they keep the crowd back from the perimeter that has been established. The mall, so long deserted that it's lost any sign indicating its name, sits at the bottom of the Calabri Tower, a 48-storey tower in the fashion district of Sector 9, the commercial district. The mall is disused, long boarded up and sealed to prevent access by undesirables. But it's clear as you arrive that someone has ripped the steel plates barricading the front doors from their mounts, allowing access. The plates lie in the middle of the street with towing cables and chains still attached. And there are numerous officers around. And as you land, your skimmers are they're effectively they're plainclothes police cars. So because you dress in your own clothes, you have the capacity to go undercover. Okay, so your skimmers are not. I mean, stats wise they're all the same, but looks wise they'll be slightly different, and they're not marked as LAPD. But as you land, there's space in the cordons for you to land on the street level. The police have the uniformed police have pushed back the crowds to allow that enough. Okay. What do you wish to do?
I just step down of my vehicle, just approach the line, flash my badge, and go straight for the bodies.
Okay, so you're heading straight in. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll step back and sort of, as I see Miles go past, I sort of just nod towards him and just follow him through.
I will
Badge.
acknowledge.
Okay.
I step out and have a look at the crowd. There's always a crowd.
Okay. What is Maximillian doing?
I step out, move over toward the entrance, but call over one of the uniforms.
Okay. So
What we got?
You're talking uniform. Corwin is talking to is observing the crowd rather. Miles is going inside. Sorry, what was Reid doing?
I'm following Miles in, kind
Okay.
of a like backup, so I'm going to sort of be his eyes whilst he's poking around with bodies.
Okay, certainly. Right. Okay, Corwin, can you do me an observation check, please? I believe that's the. I'm still getting used to the skill names in this version.
Observation on the
Observation. Yep.
Observation of the shield.
Okay.
So, how does that roll? Oh, I see.
Yep. So you've got one success.
Yes.
Okay. Right. I'll come back to that in a sec. So, Maximillian, there are numerous officers. Do you want to call across? There's very clearly a tactical officer who's in charge, and then there's a number of other sort of regular uniform police, and there's one of those who appears to be in charge. So, do you want a tactical person? Do you want a uniform person? Do you want them both? Who do you want to talk to?
I'm probably going to go for a uniform, and preferably one I know.
Okay. Okay. It's one of the guys actually sort of keeping back the crowd.
Yep.
So you wander over to him. He gives you a nod. How can I help? What's up?
What we got?
I've only seen inside, but there's hang on a sec. And he sort of leads you away from the crowd so that the crowd can't overhear him talking to you. We got from what I've heard, there were reports of some big firefight. I mean, full on firefight, automatic weapons and shit. And then when we got here, I mean, because of the level of gunfire, the first units were ordered to delay until the tactical unit arrived, and they were here quick. But by the time they arrived, there was no one here. There's just I'm told it's 3 bodies inside. I've only seen the one. That's the one that's been strung up.
Oh, you just love LA.
Yeah. And then someone said that one of the tactical guys said that the one that strung up's a replicant, and they were calling you guys. So go and have some fun, mate. Sorry, he's American. Go and have some
Yep.
fun, buddy.
No worries. And don't forget, I've told you, if you want something a little extra to be packing to keep you safe, hit me the nod. I'll do you right.
Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. I'll remember that. Sure, yeah, thanks. He looks a little nervous and
Wonderful.
glances round that his boss couldn't hear. Okay, right. Corwin. So, observation. Glancing round the crowd, it's a pretty normal mix of people. You've got people clearly who live down here who are paying attention. You've also clearly got a load of people dressing like they come down here often, but clearly there's those obvious signs that they're not residents who are clearly sort of goggling at something exciting that's happened, and the same way people watch car crashes, study car crashes. There's some kind of dramatic. They've heard it's a murder. They can't see anything horrible, but they can see lots of armed police and jumping around, and there's lots of discussions, and you can see people pointing at you guys and sort of, oh, who are these guys turning up, and sort of turning up. Yeah. Okay. Bear with me a sec. You do. Most people seem to be in groups talking. Okay. You do spot a one guy on his own who seems to be watching, and he is actively watching Maximillian have his conversation. And then as you're watching him, he seems to stop watching Maximillian and flick and look at you, realize you've already observed him and spotted him, and he immediately turns and walks away into the crowd.
Oh, it's interesting. I don't really want to risk going into the crowd on the Todd.
He's probably a black guy, probably about 40-ish something, quite big, heavy build, dressed in quite rough clothes, shaven head.
Does he look like a local? Or
Yeah, he looks like his clothes look worn with age rather than designer worn, if you know what I mean.
he may just live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, after I've observed the crowd, I'll go through the cordon with. Well, there will be an inner cordon, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Flash him the badge and join the rest of them.
Okay. Let me cut to the two that gone inside. Okay. So Miles and Reid go in. Okay. I'm just going to shift you all across to another map. Okay. So this is the 2-level mall. You're told so as you go in, you go past. There's a pair of tactical officers on the front door, and they check your IDs, and they also tell you, we've searched the place. There's no one here. We've thoroughly searched the place, so you don't need to worry about anything like that. Okay.
I hope you didn't touch anything in my scene, right? In my crime scene.
No, we didn't touch anything. We just searched it for people who were going to shoot you. Don't worry, we've kept your ass safe. Your ass safe.
Don't worry about my ass. Worry about my clues.
The guy just shakes
So I
his head.
assume this is the entry, the main entrance, right? This
Yeah,
one.
if you look at the map, yeah. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
two
There's the
floors.
doors, right?
Yeah, and so the top part is the top map is the ground floor, and then the lower map is the floor above. And yes, this is the double doors leading in. So somewhere in the street out here, there were some huge, great metal plates that have been bolted to the front, and someone has ripped. I mean, literally ripped those off. There's chains and stuff still attached to it, and that would take quite a serious vehicle to do that. But it would almost certainly have to be. People couldn't do that. That would require vehicles. And yeah, so pair of doors. This place is old, been abandoned for quite a number of years, and is quite trash. It's clear people have been in here before. That there is some signs that some people might live in here, but it is or have lived here at some point. But it is currently deserted now. Just so you see, this here is the startings of some stairs that go up to here to the second level. Yeah.
Mhm.
There are two bodies lying on the floor here. Okay.
Mhm.
And then if you look at the lower map a sec, do you see that there's like a mezzanine? It's open here.
Oh yeah.
Can you see
Yeah.
that it's slightly hard to see, but there's like this is like a
Parapet around it.
parapet around, yeah, and attached, hanging from the parapet here. So it's attached.
Can you pin
from
that
here.
position? I can't see it.
Say again.
Lower map.
On the lower
Can you
map.
ping
Yeah. So here,
lower map?
lower
Oh,
map.
okay. Yeah.
So
All right.
So there's some sort of rope or something attached here, and then but the body is hanging down on this level. Okay. Oh, who's putting X's on? That's quite cool.
I am.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. So there's another body about here, but it's not lying on the ground. It's suspended from the little sort of walkway above. Okay. And that body, they're all very clearly dead. They've all clearly been shot. The two here are lying in pools of blood. The one here, there is blood dripping down from his as pooled underneath him. His wounds are instantly very obvious. He's been shot twice, so he's facing this way, okay, and he's been shot twice in the side of the head. You can see two entry wounds, and the glancing at the back of his head is missing.
So, like a close range shot of sorts.
Yeah. Okay. To one side, right. Sorry. Let me just give you a bit more description of the bodies. So, the one that's being strung up, right, is dressed in some very odd-looking clothing. He's dressed in very much a sort of skin-tight well, as you observe it, you realize it's actually a one-piece outfit. It's shirt and trousers, but it's skin tight across his upper torso, but very much sort of open with a big plunging V in his chest, across his chest. And then the trousers are also quite tight-fitting, but as they go down his legs, they're flaring out into some sort of styled flares. And he's got shoes that are they're dirty now, but they were once very highly polished shoes. Okay, and sorry.
Disco is back, apparently.
Say again.
Mm.
Disco
is back, apparently.
Yes, very disco. Yeah. There's the medallion.
And there are you can see that there are a number of burns on his torso and his legs, and there is some sort of car battery, something like a car battery, and with some wires off it, and someone has instant impression someone has been electrocuting him.
This is desperately gruesome.
Yep.
So is he? You said he's hanging. Is he hanging by his neck, or
no,
is he like
hands,
just tied?
Sorry, tied
Yeah,
by his hands.
alright.
Sorry, apologies. Yeah. Off to one side near the battery, there's a piled up overcoat, and there is lying next to it is actually an ID card. Okay, that someone appears to have taken out and looked at, and the ID card is names him as well. It's a replicant name, which I shall put in the chat.
Wildner, Barimen.
Right.
So he's a Nexus 9.
Sorry, he's a Nexus 9.
He's a Nexus 9.
Okay. The other two bodies, I mean, just they're both quite heavily built men. One is dressed in stained workman's overalls. The other is dressed in rough sort of manual worker style clothing with padding in various sort of places where if you're carrying stuff regularly, you'd put padding on to sort of give yourself a bit of protection, and it's got quite significant wear patches on it. They're also glancing around. There's a few melee weapons lying around, a machete, a metal baseball bat, a combat knife. There's various shell cases lying around. There's a vast amount of stuff. It's going to take some time to go through this, but I'm just trying to give you what you can see instantly, and obviously the bit about the ID is why you guys have been called. Okay. Just what are you focusing on initially, please, Miles?
I'm gonna leave the obvious for later. I'm going to check the bodies downstairs to see if I can figure out if they've been shot, how many shots, if they have any other sort of wounds, like wallet identification. Also, if there are like any indication that they've been dragged around or if they dropped dead here.
Okay. Can you please give me? I think it will be an observation check.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, I'll come back to that. Oh, right. Okay.
I managed to fudge that.
Do you wish to push that?
With 2d12s.
Do you want to push
that? Sure. What are the implications of that? Remind me, please.
If any of them are a 1, you take a point of stress.
Okay.
And you have
okay, so I'm gonna...
a point. So you've got, where are we?
I've got fewer than normal because I'm a replicant.
You've got 3 resolve, so a point of stress would use a point of would be one of those 3 points used up. But you can rest.
I'm going to use it and hope for the best.
Okay. Push. If you press the push button, then I think it does.
Yeah.
It re-rolls it for you.
Oh, it shows me a matrix with it's 2d12, right? Again.
Is that what your observation is? Is it 2d12?
Yes.
Cool, nice.
Rubbish.
Wow. How did you roll so badly?
That's my specialty, I guess.
It most certainly is your specialty.
Oh,
right.
sublime to the ridiculous.
Okay.
retract my previous statement. I'm actually awesome at this.
Okay. I'll come back to that in a minute because I'll give you a load of
4
stuff. But
successes.
yeah,
I
I'll
can
come
see
back
the time. Yeah.
yeah, you can see back in time and see what happened. Right. While this is happening, what's Reid doing, please, while he starts to investigate those two bodies?
Yeah, so as he goes to the two bodies lying down, I just give them a quick glance around the room. I don't entirely trust them that they've actually swept the room properly. So I just quick glance around, making sure there's nothing moving. And then I want to go and look at the hanging man. And scan him, get a sort of general gist of it. If he's been shot and it's blown out, I'm going to, once I've had a look at him, I'm going to go and see if I can see where the slugs went.
Okay, just be aware of something. You can take that ID, that his name as such, stick it in your keys. And assuming he's a Nexus 9 on file, you will get his records come up.
Yeah, I'll do that first then, probably.
Okay.
And shout across to Miles with anything that comes up.
Right. Let me flick back to Maximillian and Corwin. Are you both now going in, or are you doing other things outside?
Yeah, I'll go in.
Yeah, I'm going in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you two come in and see this. And I think as you come in, Corwin is putting it. Sorry, Reid is putting in the ID, and for this guy, and Miles is expecting the other two bodies. Right. So. Right. First of all, the man hanging up is a Nexus 9 replicant called Anton. Did that just pop up?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's actually a companion model trained in all forms of dancing. Currently assigned is the term that's used, and he's basically the property of a place called the Markova Ballroom. And he appears to have been retired illegally on today. Okay.
Yeah.
So I live on Nightclub Row. Am I familiar with the Markova Ballroom?
Right. It's not on Nightclub Row. Right. We'll start with Reid. Actually, are you sharing this piece of information?
Yeah. Okay. I'm calling it out to whoever's nearby.
Right. So the way this works is, rather than all of you rolling, basically the most appropriate person or whoever you choose can roll. It's a connections roll, so I think it's going to be Maximillian.
Yeah, Richard. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your connections?
It's a D12.
Right. The game also talks about only making dice rolls when they're needed. I'm going to make you make a dice roll just to see how much information you've got. Some definitely, but let me see what you. Do you wish to push that?
Oh yeah, I'll push it. Okay, so again, it's that matrix. So I assume I select the types of dice I want to re-roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've got one.
One. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So the Markova Ballroom is actually almost exactly next door, but at the top of the tower. So So it's LA's premier ballroom and Latin dancing experience where customers can have lessons with highly qualified instructions. That's almost the advert. Both human and replicant. It's a very popular venue for corporate types, in particular on Friday evenings when it is competition night. Each contestant is paired with a professional of their choice, and the couples compete against each other with celebrity judges scoring the performances. Some contestants take the competition very seriously and book numerous lessons with the professional dancer of their choice in advance to practice their routines. So now it is at the top of, sorry, so actually I should have given you this earlier. So this is a little bit of note about the Calibri Tower. And then next to it is the Prospect Tower. Okay, so we've already talked about the Calibri Tower. That's 48 stories high. It's actually got a restaurant at the top called, I'm going to butcher this French pronunciation, La Bougie. La Bougie, does that sound right? Which is the candle in French. How do you pronounce it, Javier?
I don't know. I'm saying probably La Bougie or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. That'll do. And the Prospect Tower is a 57-story tower. Sorry, that says financial district. That's a typo. It should be fashion district. Sorry, I shall change that now. Sorry, that was an error by the GM. Sorry, the game runner. So it's a 57-story tower. The Markova Ballroom is the top. The top 3 floors, sorry, to be precise. Yeah, and you can read the rest of that. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. And you got 1 success. So the other thing you know is that the Markova Ballroom is run by this lady. Maya Ducote, who is a former world-class ballroom dancer herself. Okay. Right. So that, right. So I think that's all on that particular bit for the moment. Sorry, you said, sorry, Reid, you said you're going to look at the try and follow the
yeah, looking at the body, just give it a quick once over. Anything sort of obvious, and then
right.
I'm also going to then look for see where the slugs went.
Okay, the outfit has no pockets at all, so it seems like possibly the logic is that the overcoat was also in his possession and may have other things in pockets and stuff. He give me a observation check, please.
Okay. I'm not terrible at it. Okay, not yet.
Do you wish to push?
I'll try and push that. Not that it's particularly great. I've got 2 d8s. D8 plus D8.
Okay.
At least it went once.
Right. You can't find the exact bullet holes because there's quite a lot.
Yeah.
There's a blood splatter from his head, which is actually mostly sort of on the underside of the balcony above it. But there's various bullet holes all over the place. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I will leave everything as it is in that case at the moment and let forensics have a
I'm going to come back to Miles in a sec, but just so Maximillian and Corwin, is there anything else you want to pay particular attention to for the moment?
Well, I was going to ask Miles how many replicants we have here.
Right. I'll cut. I will cut to that in a sec. Anything Maximilian wants to do?
Yeah, I'm going to go over to where the jacket is, reach into the grubby overcoat I'm wearing, pull out a pair of disposable rubber gloves, the latex gloves, stick them on and start going through the pockets.
Okay, we'll come to that in a sec. Okay, so Miles, these other two bodies. Okay, they have both been shot.
Once or multiple times?
Multiple times. And it looks like they're fairly well grouped. Actually, sorry, give me right. Is this? I think it's going to be observation again. I'm trying to think whether it would be tech or anything, but I think there's a lot of observation checks here. So give me another observation check, please. Right. You've got one success. You can push the 3 if you wish. You can actually, just so you know, rules-wise, you can actually push the 7 as well in the hope that you get 2 successes.
Yeah.
For 10 or more. But if it rolls less than 1 success, you get what it rolls rather than retain the 1. Do you want to stay?
Yeah, I mean, I've already had like 4 successes before, right? And we haven't resolved that yet.
Oh, sorry. Apologies.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. No, ignore this roll. I completely forgot the 4. Sorry, that was my error. Right. Okay. Sorry, my error. Okay. Apologies. Right. So, they have both been shot. 4 successes. They have been hit by small controlled bursts, multiple short controlled bursts from different angles. Several people from up on it appears they were trying to start going up the stairs. People from the top of the stairs or either side of the stairs have fired at them, and they have been, literally cut down. They're well grouped shots in the sort of upper torso. So
professionals.
Very competent shots. Right. With 4 successes, you actually find nearby a bullet that has passed through one of them and landed on the floor. And 4 successes. You reckon that is a 7.5mm caseless round, which is normally something from, with the comments about automatic fire, that's probably some sort of caseless
military grade weapon.
Yeah, but it's not an assault rifle. It's probably a caseless machine pistol. So actually,
all right,
it's military grade, but it's a sort of thing that's issued to vehicle crews for protection or used by people who know they're going to work in close quarters, or people who are working in clandestine situations and want to carry a pistol. But it's a sort of that's a big it's a very vicious military grade bullet. You can also, from the size of it, that your knowledge, there aren't really any cased 7.5mm weapons. They're all. Do you actually know what I mean by caseless? So that means there's no shell.
There is no load to shoot the payload, right? It's just it's like bullet. Accelerated or something with. And
it's there's no so. This means that they won't have left any empty cases.
Any casings, yes.
Okay, so it has that other advantage of not leaving things that might have fingerprints on.
Yeah.
Okay, and so both of them have. They've been hit at least half a dozen times each. Yeah, and really seriously cut down. Now, even though they are dead, you can use your Kia to produce a bioluminescent light to look at
To
their
check
eye and get
the eye. Yes.
okay, and you check it, and they both have code numbers. They're both Nexus 8s. Okay, one of them is actually on file.
All right. Which one? The guy in overalls or the guy with the padded
Guy in overalls.
work clothes?
The guy in overalls.
Okay.
And he right. Let me just no, there. Right. Right. So that's him. Sorry, I've got so many things on screen. I'm going to close some of these down. We don't need the Markova ballroom stuff for the moment. We will come back to Anton. He is a Nexus 8 replicant who was actually uncovered 6 months ago, but fled before he could be retired. He's believed to have escaped into the Sorry, this is what your record comes up on your Kia saying. He's believed to have escaped into the replicant underground. He was originally a hazardous environments labour model, and the report says that he is known to use the name Darius. Okay.
Okay.
Then the other one. The other one is not on file, so all you have is a code, a serial number, and he is that one there, and he looks like this. Sorry, by the way, I didn't check. Did Darius come up when I shared him?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. He's an unknown Nexus 8 replicant who's not in the database and has no records at all. He has a very heavy-set build. He has also died from multiple gunshot wounds. Okay.
So to your question, 3 of them.
Yeah. So, slight question, rookie detective here. Is it unusual to have a replicant that's just not on file?
None of the Nexus 8 should be, unless they've been discovered, right?
So in the blackout, the records of all the Nexus 8s were destroyed. Some records might have been recovered of some Nexus 8s, and other Nexus 8s who have turned up have been recorded, quite often recorded because they've been retired. It is unusual to have a Nexus 8 who has been uncovered and has somehow managed to escape before being retired. So that is unusual. Does that answer your question, Rick?
Yeah, kind of in a roundabout sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ish.
Okay. Right. Maximillian, you were going through Anton, the Nexus 9's, the going through the overcoat. So,
Yeah.
You, besides his ID card naming, which is a completely legal ID card, you've seen enough fake ones to know it's either completely legal or an incredibly good fake. There is a key card for entrance to the Markova ballroom. There's a key, an actual old-fashioned Yale-style lock, a key with no indication as to what it's for. And that is it. He has no money on him or no other possessions.
Okay. Again, gloves, check them all out. Is there anything attached to the back of the key card, for example? You know how when you take something out of your wallet, it's got like a sweet wrapper or whatever?
No, he appears to have just picked up or just carrying with him his ID and his and the key card, and then this key.
Bag 'em.
Okay. Okay.
So okay,
So go on, Miles.
I was going to say that I've already like a couple of theories, but I guess this guy's been tortured for information, obviously. So he's a pleasure model working in a high-standing club, probably with a lot of high-standing clients. He might have maybe one of his regulars is someone they were looking information. They were after information about one of his regulars, and they just extracted it. So maybe we should check the records in the club, see who he was hanging out with. The only thing I don't know what to do with is the two Nexus 8 that look like they just entered this place, probably hearing the screams, and whoever hired the assassins to extract information from our friend Anton, they killed them on the spot. So I don't know what role they may be playing in all of this.
Well, I'm intrigued by the fact they've been shot from above, so they've been shot from the balcony that runs around the stairway.
Yeah, that's where the guy was being tortured, right? And they were heading towards the stairs.
They torture him upstairs and chuck him over, or did they torture him downstairs and hoik him up?
No, he was suspended. He's essentially he's effectively on the ground floor, pulled up.
Oh,
the battery's on the floor, ground
okay.
floor. Yeah.
Okay.
Just some other bits. There's clearly just some. I'm still going back to those 4 successes you had in the observation. You've still got more stuff to come. There are. If you want to search them, there's items. You can see items, bulges in pockets and stuff like that on each of these 2 other guys. There also are. Actually, no. We'll. There's clearly other bloodstains around as well, besides them. There's those very.
I'm going to be just for the record. I'm going to be like very carefully, like putting like taking samples from everything. Like the burnt skin, and put it in evidence bags,
Okay.
labeling everything like in a very systematic and almost OCD way.
Yep. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay. Right. So there's a lot of stuff still to come here. Right? Okay. So the one who's called Darius, who uses the name Darius in the workman's clothes, he's got a few chinyen, that's the money, in cash, not very much, half a pack of cigarettes, and a book of matches for a bar come strip club called Roxy's, which
I will grab it, toss it at I don't remember the name. The Dave's character, Reid. I will toss it at Reid and see if you know anything about this. Just chug it.
Yeah, well, quick look. Do I know Roxy's?
Right.
Do they often frequent strip clubs?
Probably does.
He's the speaker, right? He knows.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just trying to remember.
I assume these guys will be hanging out in underground bars and places, right? Because they're Nexus 8.
Right.
So
I think
if
I'm just trying to remember something in your background, and I think you get advantage on this. This is a connections roll, but you get advantage on it. I think I'm going to give you advantage because I'm just trying to remember something in your background.
I'm just going to go AFK, okay?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, right. Advantage, so I'll take that. And then connections, yeah.
So advantage, yeah. You does the dice roll do it automatically?
I've selected the advantage at the top.
Okay, let's see how that rolls.
Let's see if it works.
Now, if you push
Yes, it's
that,
added an extra die.
if you push that,
Yeah.
you're going. You can't. If I'm right, you can't re-roll the 1, so you're going to take a
No, I
point
can
of
only
stress.
do the 2d8s, can't I?
Yeah. So you're going to get a point of stress.
Sorry. Crystal Dome.
Yeah, you'd re-roll a D8 and a D6. Sorry, D8 and D10. Do you want to re-roll that, or
Oh
do you
yes,
want?
got D10. Yeah, I'll try.
So
try
you're going
that.
to take a
With
point of
just the D8 and
stress.
the D10.
Yeah, you're going to take a point of stress, but
Yeah,
go ahead and push that.
D8 and D10.
One success.
Yeah, so you
On
still
success.
One
so
success,
1 point
okay.
of stress. And you still, right, okay. So Roxy's a bar strip club, located quite near Anemoid Row, which is a place that has it's a street level place, and Roxy's is street level, that is renowned for its
Replicant
replicant,
animals and things, is it?
replicant animals. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so I catch it. Oh look. Roxy's. Yeah. They're down at Anemoid Row. You know, with the snakes and the lizards
Yeah.
and
I
the.
haven't been there, but I hear good things.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh,
You
well
know,
done.
the girls are good.
Did something pop up?
Yes,
Yes, we've got your flyer.
Yep.
Roxy showgirls.
I'll get you my flyer. Right. Yeah. Love it. Right. Okay. Miles. So then the other unknown Nexus 8, besides his clothing, he's got a switchblade in a pocket, a few chinion in cash, half a bottle of whiskey, and a key card with no location ID printed on it. It's a key card for a lock, but no idea where it's for.
Key card.
Yep. Okay.
I will just, as I'm fiddling through his things, I will just, without looking up, show it to the others and shake it a bit to attract their attention.
Okay.
I'll wander over.
Okay. Yep. Key card with no idea what it's for.
Is there anything the Kia can read on it?
The Kia with a tech roll might be able to read the
Like manufacturer or something like that.
the code for what it's trying to unlock, but it wouldn't necessarily give you the location.
Might give us a lead, perhaps, if we're lucky. I'll stick it in the Kia, see what comes up. My
Okay.
tech is terrible.
Okay, give us a tech roll then.
Can I lean over his shoulder and assist him?
Ooh.
Yeah, now. So okay, so first time now. Assisting in this, you just roll your tech skill, but not your stat,
Okay.
and any successes add to his total.
How do I do that?
I think just do it on a separate dice roller on the left hand side. There's just I would abandon the fancy dice roller and just roll Tendy's dice roller.
It's a
No, okay. Right. So no, you can't figure anything out for that at the moment. Okay.
No, that's the power button. No. Oh.
Right.
I get in.
Just a few more things. So, right. Miles, a few other things from that massive observation check. So there are 3 weapons lying around here. The machete. There's a machete, a metal baseball bat, and a military issue combat knife. There are also in your immediate vicinity around here 3 discharged smoke grenade canisters. So someone has thrown 3 smoke grenades down here.
So and that's something recent that happened say,
They're
in the
still-
last couple hours?
They're still warm.
They're still warm.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep. A bit further back from the bottom of so that's around the bottom of the stairs. Further back from that, sort of in back towards the entrance. So more. I'm going to ping the map a sec.
Mhm.
More in sort of this sort of area, and also there's a desk here that appears to have been used for cover. Scattered around here are numerous shell cases. Okay. It appears the firefight was not one-sided. Okay.
I've got a theory, a new one. So I think these two guys were torturing the Nexus 9, and I'm going to check that by checking their fingerprints and the battery
Pumps and things.
pumps,
Mhm.
right? And I suspect they were torturing him, and someone sent the SWAT to prevent any leak of information and just to be sure they kill everyone involved. Right? This looks more like an assault sort of thing, right?
Right. More bits and pieces. So the shell cases, there are a mixture of 9mm parabellum cases. So that's pistol submachine gun type.
Yeah, standard. Yeah.
Yep. 357 Magnum rounds, which is normally a pistol, and 12 gauge shotgun shells.
None of those weapons are here, though, are they? They've all.
No, none of those weapons are here.
Good.
And
Is there any residue of gunpowder in the hands of the Nexus 8?
no, neither of the Nexus 8s have got. So you check that they don't have any
Only
gunpowder
pens.
there. Also, looking at the battery, there's no fingerprints on that. Gathering up individually, you're going through. You're having to borrow some little plastic baggies for the amount of stuff you're collecting.
Yeah.
But
I
there
want
are.
those back.
I have an infinite supply, like weirdly enough. It's like I just keep getting them out of the, my sleeves and pockets, and
I've got some.
There
I've got some
are.
here if you want some more.
There are. You collect all this. Some of those, as you start sort of just dusting for fingerprints, there are some of the cases have got fingerprints on them, and some of the all three of the melee weapons have got fingerprints on them.
Could you dust his ID card as well to see who handled it?
The ID card has fingerprints on it,
Mostly his.
but a quick glance at his file that you've now got on your keys, those are his. The three smoke grenades, two of them have no fingerprints on, one has a partial. Okay.
can I try to match the partial to the casings or the clamps?
Right. Okay. I think going through all the fingerprints, that'll be a tech roll.
Okay.
And it's better done back in a lab. You can do it now, but I'll probably say it's at disadvantage at the present moment, which means
which means I only roll one die.
You lose your lower die of your stat and skill.
It's 2d12 anyway, so.
Yeah, you just roll 1d12.
I just want to do like a quick check just to see if
Okay.
it's something very obvious.
Roll me that.
Okay, so it's tech.
Do you wish? Oh, you got 2 successes.
11. Two
Okay.
successes, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
For me.
What have you found, Sherlock?
Right.
It's one of the advantages of being like literally built for this job.
So the machete The machete has Darius's fingerprints on it. The baseball
Okay.
bat has the other N8 replicants' fingerprints on it.
Let's call
Box.
him Norbert.
By all means, name him. The military issue combat knife has unknown fingerprints on it. They are not on file. Okay. Going through the various shells and bullet cases, 4 of the 12 gauge shotgun shells have fingerprints unknown, probably male from the size. 6 of the 9mm. Second.
Same guy.
No, totally different. Another totally different guy.
The 4 12 gauge shells.
Yeah, from the same person. Same person.
Okay.
It's another set of
Unknown.
prints. Then you've got 6 9mm shell cases from another person as well, probably male once again from the size. You've got then
It was the partial, wasn't there?
now hang on a sec.
There was the 357 Magnum as well.
Right. Just bear with me a sec. Where's that gone? You then have 3 more 9mm parabellum shells. With fingerprints on them for another Nexus 8 model who is on file. Who is
Nexus.
another Nexus 8 who's on file. Who is this?
Okay.
This guy. He is known to use the name Mikey. He is trained in hostile environment salvage model. That's his design. And it's So he's
What was Darius? He was also a hostile environment something, right?
Yeah.
Darius was a hostile environments labor model. This guy
Labor. Okay.
this guy Mikey is a hostile
Salvage.
environment salvage model. The one other note on his file is that he has training in use of explosives.
Oh,
Okay. So salvage and demolition.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay. Then you've got 3 357 Magnum rounds cases with fingerprints on them from this guy, another replicant, but this time a Nexus 9. I've put the notes on him. He's known as Carl. He's a combat model specializing in small unit tactics, and he was last reported at the Sigma 6 Trade and Recreation Facility in orbit around Mars on the 6th of June 2037, and he's been AWOL since then. Deserted, presumed gone rogue. Okay, that's it for all of the shell cases.
Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 unknown, likely male, plus the people who are shooting the caseless weapons.
Yep.
Or ammunition.
Yeah, and so you've got in total the Anton the dead replicant who's strung up, 2 other dead replicants,
Nexus 8 and 1 Nexus 9.
Evidence the presence of another Nexus 8 and a Nexus 9, both of whom are rogue, and fingerprints of 3 other unidentified people.
Got it all. Yeah.
You also have on one of the smoke grenade canisters. You have a partial fingerprint, which turns up something very different, because this fingerprint is on sort of file. Where's he gone? Right, actually, I'll show you this as it. The last thing is blood samples. Okay, actually, I'll come back to this. Has anyone gone upstairs yet?
I was
No,
about to with the rookie.
that was going to be my next move. Go upstairs.
Right, okay, I'll cut to you guys doing that, and then okay, there is Miles. There's still more information to come, but I'll cut back to you in a sec.
There's a lot of work, so I'm just fiddling and checking, bagging, labeling.
Okay, so the two of you go upstairs. You find several things up the top. First of all, is some blood stains, some very fresh blood, and also the wrapper of what looks to be a military issue personal med kit.
Used.
Yeah. So it's the wrapper of what would have contained
Just the wrapper.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the wrapper. Okay. Do you want to do anything up here besides?
Yeah, I'd quite like to search the upper level looking for any other kind of egress or ingress route.
Okay.
I'm a little perplexed that we've got this front door that's obviously been wrenched off the hinges by a vehicle, but there may well have been people in here already, and I'd like to know how they were getting in and out.
Okay.
It's an exit route. It's an possible escape route.
Certainly. Right.
I'll divide up the search
Okay.
with me and
We trust the normal plots
Rookie.
to actually clear it, make sure that we're not about to
Well,
be
working as a team,
down.
doors and corners.
working as a team, one of you can assist the other.
We'll work as a
Okay.
team. There will be the
Right.
classic.
So, who is leading it and who is assisting?
Who's got the best observation?
I have observation 2d8.
I have a D10 and a D8.
So,
Right.
it
I'll
sounds
assist then.
it
Yeah,
sounds so. So it's like Corwin is leading. So roll with advantage, and you're sorry, not with advantage. Sorry, you're getting an assist. So Reid roll 1d8, which you think you might do with the dice roller, and Corwin, please roll your observation.
Well, the full observation. Just click the button on the character sheet.
Full observation. Yeah, roll that.
Okay, fair play.
And you've got an additional success, so you've got 2 successes total. Okay.
Mhm.
Right. You search around, and there's a couple of very small drops of blood that lead you in the right direction. But if you're looking at the map, at the lower part of the map, this here is a lift shaft.
See it? Yep.
Okay. And the doors have been welded shut. Okay. But as you're examining it, you can see that someone at some point looks like they've actually filed open or broken open somehow the back of the weld, and the doors actually, it'll require some sort of strength or crowbar or something like that, can be opened.
Oh,
Good spot, Rookie. Looks like we've got an egress.
yeah.
Rat run.
Rat run. Absolutely.
Let's see if I can
That makes us vulnerable.
brute force this one.
Right.
Should we wait for the tech to print it?
We'll be careful.
Go for it.
Well, it says in the book, that we should wait for the crime scene tech before we destroy the evidence, right?
Sherlock's going to be hours.
It's only
You know
going to be
that,
hours.
yeah,
Don't
you know
call
it's
him up
true.
here. Call him up here, get him to print this, and then let him get on with what he's doing, surely.
Oh, go on. Run round and tell him.
Yeah, I'll lean over the balcony, because there's a balcony, right?
Yeah.
And I'll yell down and say, hey, Miles, can you come up here and print something for us quick before we destroy it by accident?
I will just like pop up my head from their bodies, look around, roll my eyes, pack my glass back,
Suitable bit of
pocket
leverage.
it, and go upstairs.
Just wanted to go upstairs. What is Maximillian doing at this present moment?
I'm looking around, especially around with the any blood stains on the floor and dust, to see if there's any marks, any signs of anything, people being dragged. So we've got fingerprints of not multiple people, but only 3 bodies, and some of the fingerprints would suggest that there were on the ground floor. So there's signs of anyone being dragged away, either back out through the hole or upstairs.
Definitely drag marks. Give me an observation check, please.
Okay.
Nicely thought.
My screen is quite small, so I keep having to shut my character sheet down to see the map. Great stuff. Okay, I'm pushing that.
You pushing that? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, point of stress.
Ow.
Okay. Right. There are definitely, even with 0 successes, there are definitely drag marks. They're definitely going towards the front door. They're not going up the stairs. Okay.
Right.
But how many, you don't know.
No problem. I'll use the keyer to take imagery of the drag mark that I see.
Okay. Okay. Right. So Miles comes up and fingerprints the lift door. There are no fingerprints on it.
Whilst he's up there, I'll point out the area of the blood as well that he may want to have a look at, and also, because we didn't pick it up, the military first aid kit wrapper.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
And then it looks like I'm going to go with Mr. Crowbar over there.
Now, do you have anything useful like a crowbar on you, or are you just brute forcing this?
I don't have anything like it in my equipment.
Is there any like some sort of like metal bar laying around? Right?
Yeah, I'll look
this is like only
look around for
ruins.
something sturdy that I could use as an alternative.
Okay. There's broken furniture. You get a bit of broken furniture or something like that. Okay. It will require a force check.
Yeah.
Okay. But Corwin, you can assist if you wish.
Well, I'm just wondering whether I need to assist or whether I should actually be standing there covering him with a drawn weapon.
Your choice.
I think I'll cover him with a drawn weapon.
Okay.
Mr. Barimen here in the corner.
The first.
Because that's what it says in that's what it says in the manual, right?
The first drawing of a weapon. Right. Can I have, please, a force check from?
Will do.
Yeah.
Can I push it?
Okay. Bear in mind if you get a 1 now, it's damage rather than stress because it's a physical skill.
A force, yeah.
With ease,
wrenched it open.
Pull it open. Right. It's very. It's someone has oiled it. Someone has oiled it to make it easy to open. Okay. And so once you got purchase on it, it moved very easily. And there is a lift shaft, and what you notice straight off is first of all it's dark, but you've got your keys can generate light, but you've got I imagine you've got flashlights as well. The lift shaft is clearly this building's been out of service for quite a while, and everything's got a degree of all the metalwork's got a degree of rust on it, particularly the lift shaft, and so clearly some water's got in here at some point, and run down it, and there's rust and stuff. But someone appears to have installed relatively recently a new ladder up the inside. So the ladder would have, when the building would have been sealed, it's almost certain they'd have removed the ladder from the lift shaft to make it harder for people to get up if they could get in and get into the lift shaft. Someone seems to have replaced the ladder.
Yeah. Unless it just goes up.
Yeah.
I know. I think I know what this is. This is probably how did you call it when we first came in? Shadow
No,
parting, shadow dancing,
Dark siding.
dark siding. Yeah.
siding, right? Probably this is the hatch they used to go down from
maybe.
the down from the top.
I'm like no. I'm more inclined to think this is something.
Replicant underground kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's
I
got
mean,
the,
it doesn't hurt to check,
private
right?
safe house.
I think we need to have a quick look. You coming with me, Rookie?
I think we need to have a quick look, but we need to tell the others what we're going to do. Because when we don't come back, next of kin needs to know.
I'm gonna give a shout at Max, letting him know that we found a suspicious hatch, and we are going to explore.
Yeah, let's log it
Right.
via our.
Before you
That's Falk for you, 218.
right, just to say, you've also taken several blood samples. Yeah, in that, going back to the observation check, or you've spotted several. So there's one at the top of the stairs, and then several others below. You can try and identify these quickly on your Kia. Once again, it's a tech roll. Right. So you've got
MVP.
you've got in total, from what you gather, it's 4 different blood samples. One is from an unidentified male. One is from an unidentified female. You can tell gender from blood samples. Then one actually corresponds to the blood sample for the N8 replicant Mikey. Okay. And the other corresponds to, there was a fingerprint, partial fingerprint on the smoke grenade, and it corresponds to this guy.
All right. Human.
And which one of those samples was on the top of the stairs?
His
Right.
His blood was at the top of the stairs,
And the smoke canister.
his fingerprint is a partial of his fingerprint. Being a former UN soldier, his full DNA profile, fingerprints, etc., is all on file.
So former soldier, mercenary, right?
So we've got two former military, haven't we?
On different.
But the other one was a Nexus 8, so
Yeah.
not really. Well,
No, the replicant model that's a military one is a Nexus. It was a Nexus 9.
fair enough. Yes, that's true. Yeah, Nexus 9.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I think I'm just checking. Right. Your Kias light up with a report from the commander of the tactical team. He's put a report in that they arrived secured the area, but the perpetrators already fled, and they searched the area and they found no other people present. Just a very and then have passed over to the Blade Runner department. I'm just trying to think. Just double checking. Oh, the wrapper also turns out to have unknown fingerprints on it.
All right.
Not on
Someone else.
It's different from any other. Any
That's another set
another set
of unknown.
another set of unknown.
a fourth set of
Yep.
unknown fingerprints.
Yep. And one other thing that you would probably observe between you, based on all the bullet holes in walls and floor and stuff like that. So it seems several people have fired what probably based on the caliber Arcasus machine pistols from the balcony. Now, those kind of weapons can have quite high capacity magazines, but if anyone has reloaded, they've not discarded the empty magazines. They have retained the empty magazines, which is another sign of training.
Military.
Professionals. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, who is talking about going up the lift shaft?
Yeah.
Is
You're up the lift shaft. We're all going up the lift shaft, aren't we?
Maximillian going as well?
No, he's got a fine cigar that he's smoking.
What is Maximillian going to do then?
I'm actually going to spend a bit of time. First of all, I'm going to check the battery that was used for any serial numbers or identifiers.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to check around to see if there's anything of high value that people have missed that's technically evidence.
Okay. Right. Okay. Right. You're okay. You're starting to do that. Miles, you're packing away your gear, so now you've got a lot of samples. Are you keeping, including 3 melee weapons, and you've got the 3 bodies? Are you leaving that here, or are you going to pass that over to an LAPD unit to take that all to headquarters?
Whatever has to go to the lab, I will keep with me. So, like all the bags with the blood samples and
Yep.
all of that.
And
But the bodies and weapons, I will leave for the LAPD to move to the lab themselves.
okay.
I'll get the units in to deal with these.
Yep. Okay. Someone asked you, can we send the coroner to collect the bodies then as well? Said to Maximillian.
Yeah, sure. Just doing a last minute check to make sure there's no one we've missed.
Okay.
Don't want you guys to get in danger.
Okay. The LA police officer who's in body armor smiles at that, but yeah. Right. Just as the other just the other 3 of you are preparing to start to climb up the lift shaft. Detective Wildner, your Kia springs into life. You have an incoming call. It's Lieutenant Sawyer.
Okay, so I'll just point to the others and go, hang on, Sawyer's on the line. Click up. Weed.
I need an update, but before you give me an update, I have no idea if this is connected, but I have a second case for you to investigate in the that's almost exactly where you are. So
very good, sir.
So you're gonna have to
Could be one of our many missing.
Okay. You missing? Okay, you got missing people. Okay. So just next door to where you are, at the top of the Prospect Tower, is a place called the Markova Ballroom. We've just had
Never heard of it.
were aware of it.
we've just had a call about an assault by a replicant.
Oh, okay.
Can you detach? Can one of the four of you go and take statements and find out what's happened here? If it's not related, then we'll pass it over to someone else. But just as you're on site, almost, can one of you go and investigate that, please?
Yep, we'll follow up. Probably turn and look at the rookie.
So
I'm going to go and talk to some people there.
Corwin.
Corwin, that's it.
Right.
I was trying to remember names.
Yeah,
Names
okay.
and me.
I've been detached.
right. So Corwin's going to go and.
I'm the rookie, right?
Yeah.
Or at
That
least
sounded boring, so I was sent the rookie.
I did.
I'm the probie, as they say in a
Yeah.
certain TV series.
Yeah. I did think about actually trying to work out if you're different detective ranks, because there's detective grade 1, detective grade 2, and detective grade 3 in the LAPD. But I thought that was a little bit too much nerding out on detail to go into. But anyway, right.
So as he passes by me, I will just say, like, kind of like in a cheeky way to him, like chasing a replicant in the wild. Max will kick out of this one, and just leave it hanging there.
I know what he's getting at.
Right.
I know exactly what he's getting at.
Okay. Let me. Right.
My turn to roll my eyes.
Right. I'm just trying to think. Right. Okay. So, Maximillian, can you give me an observation check, please, for searching? So you're looking at the battery, okay, and trying to get a serial number off that. Yep, certainly. Okay, that you can just find. That doesn't require a dice roll. And then you want to also search the place for anything that's been missed by previous scavengers, basically. Yep.
Yeah.
Give me an observation check for that, please.
Sure.
Have you got any advantages that add to that, or?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Actually, I need to do one thing. I need to add to my Chinian because I've got that cashback ability.
Mm-hmm.
I've got that start of each case. So yeah, one success on that.
Okay. Unfortunately, no. This place has been pretty stripped clean. You think that from searching around, you've searched a few derelict buildings in your time. This actually has probably a lot of what you're seeing, and you can see it on the map of the sort of damage and stuff like that. A lot of that is probably quite historical. This probably has been secured for a number of years. Yeah. It's been secured for a number of years, and there's a lot of dust and dirt around here. But before it was secured, you're pretty convinced it's been very, very thoroughly searched, and there hasn't really been anyone dossing in here. They've not been able to get in.
No worries. In which case, the only thing I'll do now then is get in contact with, chase up the serial number to see where it came from, whether it be legitimate or whether it be black market.
It's right. that that traces down to a legitimate purchase, but a purchase at least 5 years ago. So it's come from a vehicle probably, and but it was purchased 5 years ago.
Arrows.
Okay.
Log it on the Kia.
Yep, certainly. Right. The two of you going up the lift shaft. Okay.
I've been peeled off to go up and
Yeah, but I think
and
Miles is going up the lift shaft.
Miles wants to go as well.
Yeah, I will cover him.
It is still it's 2 rather than 3. Okay. So that will be actually no, there's right. Sorry, I need to just check something. Right. Climbing up the ladder, the lift shaft goes up, and you can see this by shining a flashlight up. It goes up for another 2 stories, so from the 2nd to the 3rd to the 4th, and then the lift shaft itself has a steel plate put in it to prevent access further up.
Mhm.
Okay, but the ladder goes up to the 4th floor, and then you can see that someone has rigged up a handle on what would effectively be the inside of the lift door to pull it open. Okay. And once again, that's well oiled. Are you opening that?
Yeah, I'll try and do it as quietly as I can, just in case. I'll warn Miles to sort of keep a pace or 2 behind me.
Yeah.
To
Well, he's a bit further
below
down.
me.
He's a bit further down the
Yeah.
ladder.
Yeah.
You pull open the lift shaft door on the 4th floor, and it opens it into what's clearly a disused level of an apartment block. Yeah. You can see trails in dust where presumably people have been coming and going. Those look to be quite recent, but the rest of it looks all pretty dirty, and the trails go off further into the floor.
Into the dark. Yeah. Okay, so I'll step into the room, so to speak. Try to avoid lobby. Try to avoid standing on existing trails, and then sort of look, a quick flash around, see there's no immediate threats, and then look down. Right, Miles, come on up. We looks like we got some people sneaking around up here. Let's see where they've been going. And keep your eyes peeled. They may still be up here. And I'll be sort of flashlight and guns out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I step out of the shaft, I will just also pull out my gun.
Okay. We're getting close to the end of the session. I'm just going to do one last thing. So, Corwin, jump in your spinner and go up to the Markova ballroom. Okay.
Of course, I was going to use the elevator, but yeah, obviously.
No, the elevator does not go up. Right. You up now. The Markova ballroom. The way it's set up is it's the top 3 floors of the building, but the 3rd of those, the lower one of those 3, is actually being converted into effectively a car park that you can fly into. This is quite common with these sort of rooftop buildings. They've set up so that skimmers can fly in. Okay, and so you park in there, and there's actually a member of staff almost sort of waiting for someone to turn up, and you're ushered up to the reception, and clearly the place is doing business at the present moment. It's a Saturday night. There are paying customers here, and you're taken fairly quickly into a sort of a back room, where there is a young lady who has clearly been punched very hard in the face, and
Ooh.
absolutely smashed in face, probably lost some teeth, and she tells you her name is Ariana Jeong, and she is a singer at the Markova Ballroom. And she tells you that she was talking to one of the dancers, and suddenly she's a replicant, and she just suddenly flipped out and
She just suddenly flipped out.
and punched her. And the replicant, she's known as Gabor.
Do I have any? Obviously, there's an employment record up here, or well, an ownership record, I guess.
Yeah, I
can get the full details onto my Kia. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just popped something up. So she's
Another Nexus 9.
Another Nexus 9. She's a companion model again, trained in all forms of dancing, and right. Give me an insight check, though.
You'll be lucky. Not my strong point. Insight. Oh, an 8. So that's one success.
Good.
The singer Ariana Jeong is nervous. She is lying about something.
Excellent.
And I think it's a nice place to leave it for the week.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you to anyone watching. There'll be another episode hopefully soon, and we'll be back then. And I shall stop recording.